most of our folks here. I just want to welcome you all to the 7th annual Arcuri for Suds event. It's been a wonderful time these past 7 years, and we're so thankful to have all of you here. My name is Chris. I will be your MC for the day, so you'll hear my voice throughout the day on and off, whether you like it or not. And we just have a great day planned. There's a lot of great stuff here. For those of you who are new, and for those of you who may have forgotten, I just want to tell you what Suds is. Suds stands for Soldiers Undertaking Disabled Scuba. We have a gentleman here, John Thompson, who started this back in 2007. And what they do is they take soldiers. Most of the time they go to Puerto Rico, but they do go other places as well. And they teach them how to scuba dive as a program for rehabilitation. I just like to take things off of directly what they say so that I'm not making it up, but it says it's designed to help improve the lives of wounded, injured, and ill service members who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, it's more than a program that just teaches them how to scuba dive. That's one part of it. It's a program that gives them the opportunity to be with other soldiers who have been through similar situations and to rebuild that camaraderie, have the opportunity to be together and fight for something together. They fought for this country, now they get to fight for each other and fight for themselves. And that's the opportunity that we have here today as a group, is to help fight alongside these gentlemen and women who have served for us. So it's a great opportunity, and I'm very proud to be a part of this, and I'm proud to have you guys here, and it's just an honor, so thank you. There's one thing I just love what this one guy said here. It's a phrase that we say, is we call it freedom one dive at a time. And the way we look at it is it's freedom, you know, one day at a time, one dive at a time. Every time these guys, men and women, have a chance to get in the water, it helps build more confidence, more strength. They realize that they can do this. They can do this thing. And water gives them that opportunity. It's a great equalizer. The weightlessness in water, the quietness of just focusing on your breathing, focusing on the task at hand, focusing on the person next to you, and working as a team. It's more than just the diving. It's the team, and it's all the other things that come with it that give them this opportunity. And this one guy, I'm going to quote him here. His name is Michael Collins from the U.S. Army. He said, "Suds to me is freedom from my disability." And they talked about the weightlessness and the quietness. They said it's very important to have recreational therapy and sports like scuba diving because it gets you in the mindset that you can still operate and do what you want to do. The weightlessness, the quietness, and the breathing of your regulator and oxygen tank is just very calming. And it's an amazing feeling. It feels like I'm leaving all my troubles above the surface. So, you know, we're all here to have a good time, and we're all here to eat some food and have some drinks. But there's a bigger purpose while we're here today. And the bigger purpose is to give back and to serve these men and women. So we like to say freedom is one day at a time, freedom is one dive at a time, and for you here today, freedom is $1 at a time, and we need you guys to donate to these men and women who have given so much to us that we can never compare to that. So please, please give today for these men and women. I just, before we begin our opening ceremony, I just want to thank, right out of the box, this properties that we are standing on. These men, some families have donated their time and have welcomed us into their homes. So I just want to thank Ray Malspina, Dave Magliero, the Zhang family, and of course the Arcuri family, just right out of the bat. There's so many other people here we want to thank. But being that they have welcomed us into their home for 7 years in a row now, I just want to thank you guys. All the hard work that you put in to make this event happen, and all the work it takes to set it up and then to clean it up afterwards. We just thank you for that. So, without further ado, one of our many, many volunteers that we have, I would like to welcome the Monmouth County Police and Fire Pipes and Drums. They're going to open our opening ceremony, so if you want to just make a little clear path, come on down, gentlemen. Police and Fire Pipes and Drums. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. You guys come every year, and every year it's an honor to have you. For another group of people who serve our community and serve us, we thank you for what you do and for your time that you spend here with us. We appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, guys. We're going to move right along. We are always blessed to have this gentleman here, and I just want to introduce him, Monsignor Coleman. Please come on down. He opens our event every year, and it's always an honor and always a blessing to have him. So
Big Bob. We call him Big Bob.
We call him Big Bob. I think only Nick can do that. So without further ado, here you are, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here again, and when we come together and we want to raise our minds and our hearts to the Lord, always there is that sense of thanks, which has already been mentioned. Of course, so many people to thank who have helped prepare this day to serve others, and the list probably is more than both arms. So I want to thank especially, of course, Nick and his wife Kathy, and all the people who open their homes and their hearts to all of us for such a good purpose. And when we gather to pray today, it would be difficult to imagine that we don't think of course, our fellow citizens, especially in the state of Florida and in the south of our country, with such an impending storm coming to really sadly devastate so much of the state of Florida. So we can think of them. But you know what? We can't stop thinking also and praying for the people who are slowly recovering, we hope, in Texas and in Louisiana. Strange thing about memory, because we can so quickly forget. And we have to stop ourselves and not allow that. And also with our own memory, of course, it can get very rosy, because when we think about things so far back in time, they can always look better than maybe they actually were when we experienced those events in our lives. So memory is important. That's why coming here every year is so good, because what is kept alive in our memories and in our hearts is the tremendous service that is given to our country, and by that to all of us, by men and women who are so brave. They follow that command of the Lord when he tells his disciples that there's no greater love than to lay down your life for another. So many have, and so many have given such sacrifice. And so it's hard for us to be able to express that kind of gratitude, the real gratitude, because so often the words thank you seem to just fall flat on the ground, no bounce to them, because we use those words so often. But they're the only words we have. So let us turn to the Lord with hearts filled with gratitude, with thanks for countless men and women, some who are here today, who have given so much of their lives in service to us and our nation. And our memories can't be allowed to forget that kind of sacrifice and that goodness as we turn to Almighty God. Father in heaven, Creator of all that we behold, fill our hearts with love for you. Help us as we remember those who have given in sacrifice, that their reward will be great, that you will give them the 100-fold in this life and the eternal life to come. Protect our nation, protect those who are in the course of trouble, and help us all that with grateful hearts we may serve you as we serve one another, from the greatest to the least, so that we may be counted among those who are your friends, for you live and reign forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Monsignor. He always is so much better spoken than me. I'm very jealous. We are going to do our national anthem, so please rise. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proofs through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Hey, I know this is a day where we are fighting alongside these service members who have served for us, so let's all fight together on this day. But you know what? We can also celebrate the life that we have and the opportunity that we have to move forward and grow and build. And so let's celebrate these people who have served us. Let's celebrate them and let's help them to move forward. We have a really fun day ahead of us, guys. We have these amazing speedboats that are going to come flying down here in just a few moments. We have Vince and the Blues Collar Band. Mike Cereso is going to be here. Obviously, the Monmouth County Police and Fire Pipes and Drums. We have comedians, Kevin Dombrowski and friends. And we can't forget Street Hassle, all this food. We're going to have a great day. Let's celebrate, guys. Let's have a great time. Hey, and you know what? Let's open our wallets, open our hearts, and let's give back to these people. What do you say, huh? So without further ado, gentlemen and lady, ride us out.
I know, the low profile.
start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. 'Cause I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. For there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Whenever we're here at this event, I always think back to a time when I was visiting my cousin in North Carolina, and he had a baby boy that was 3 months old and a daughter that was 3. And in a month's time, he was about to deploy for 14 months to go overseas and be away from his family, away from his son and away from his daughter. And that's just one man, one person, one family who is making a sacrifice like that for his country, for us, and for people he will never meet, and they will never meet him. And I just think about the sacrifices that all the people who are involved with Suds, and everyone here, and everyone overseas, everyone who has fought for us, and all the sacrifices that they have made. And I just want to say thank you all for your sacrifice for us and your service to us. Thank you. You know, it says somewhere that the greatest among us, and I think the Monsignor said this something similar, but the greatest among us are those who serve, who put others before them. And there's one of our family that we lost a couple years back, who we would like to honor here today. And it's Steven Siliberto. We all know him as the Captain. For those of you who don't know the Captain, you know, I consider him a great man. Anyone who served in World War II and was on the beaches of Normandy, I consider a great man, and who made great sacrifices for his country. He put his life on the line for the man standing next to him and the person at home. So he was also an ABC cameraman, and for those of you who don't know, he was a vital part of making this Suds event happen, bringing Suds here and bringing Nick and Ray to Puerto Rico. It's an incredible story where he brought them there, and they saw the soldiers there with John, and 7 years later, here we are doing this thing, and it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for the captain. And a man like that, who served his entire life, and he served his country, and he served the people around him in his community until the day he died, until the day he left us. And his service is still being seen now, even after he's gone, because here we are doing this event, and we're doing it because of the captain. And I consider that a great man who left a great legacy. And so in light of all that, I'm going to bring my dad up here, and he's going to sing a song. It's a song that he did a couple years ago. We're happy to bring it back. This is Vinny Bergamo. Come on up. It kind of tells the story of how things went. So, and I just want to say, please, guys, don't go too far, because John Thompson is going to speak to us right after this. So, here you are, sir. They're going to put the music in here for just a second. But, well, here we go. Vincent Bergamo.
Here, yes, I faced the final curtain. Don't worry, 'cause I'm near end of this. You can be certain. I see you all and smile at our annual Suds Fundraiser. Much more than this, I did it Captain's way. Captain and Katie, they wanted Nick to follow him to Puerto Rico, show him certain things so Nick could see what he knows. A group of wounded warriors, they were sitting all alone, yes. Captain and Nick felt they deserved very best. Yes, there were times I'm sure they thought they were alone, but they were not. With these two men, what they could see had to be changed. This shouldn't be. They did it all. They stood tall. They did it their way. They loved and laughed and cried, joined the forces together to help our boys out and help them walk through stormy weather. Next thing that they said, let's go to Jersey and have a barbecue. You know what they'll all think? We're just a couple of fools. Look at all these people, all of them care, because of too many had the guts to bear, to try to do what couldn't be done. Our wounded warriors, they have won. The record shows they took the blows and did it Yes, it was.
Well, now I'm very proud to introduce, and I'm not sure if Dan is around. Where's Dan? There he is. I'm going to introduce to you a gentleman. We had talked about men who serve and men who have put others before themselves, and that's what I think about this guy. He had an idea, and he had something that he thought, a place that he could help, and he went and did it, and he had the guts to do it. And I think what I think is one of the greatest things about him is how humble he is, and how what a sense of humility he has, because it's not about him, it's about other people. And again, I think that's an awesome thing. I have a nickname for you now, and I'm going to call you the Beach Cowboy, because that's what you remind me of. So let's welcome him up here. He's going to speak to us for a little bit. This is John, the Beach Cowboy Thompson. Come on up.
That one might stick. First of all, I want to thank the Arcuri family, Dave, Ray, Laura, Sheila, the Bergamo family, the Peters family, and all the volunteers and all of you for coming out today. Thank you very much. The person on my right, this is Commander Cliff Bruner. We just brought Cliff onto the board of directors this year. Cliff served his entire career, 22 years as a Navy SEAL. So we're very, very proud to have him on the board of directors. Take it over, Cliff. Also, I'd like to recognize Lieutenant Colonel Michelle Thompson, the mother of my children. I affectionately call the Texas Tornadoes, Ashley and Sophia, sitting right there. A lot of people probably don't know this, but if we hadn't got stationed at Walter Reed in 2005, the Suds program probably never would have happened. Michelle was accepted into the Armed Forces Institute of Pathology in 2005. Without that piece of the puzzle, we wouldn't be here tonight. So I'm very grateful. Another pretty sweet piece of news here is a lot of people know Carla Chatterton. She's not here this evening because of what happened what's happening down in Florida with Irma. She's pretty sad she's not here, but we just brought Carla onto the board of directors. It happened a couple of nights ago. We've really prided ourselves on having an all-military or former military board, but Carla's been with us for 10 years. We had a spot open up. It just made sense to bring her in. When we broke the news to her, she broke down crying. It was very heartfelt. So happy to have Carla on board and Cliff. Also this year, we had two veterans that have been in the Suds program for quite a while actually complete their dive instructor certifications. We got two guys now that this year, Brett Graveline, who's been to this event several times, and Jace Badia just became dive instructors. Very huge accomplishment. Yeah. I'd like to give you a recap of what 2017 has looked for us so far, so you have an idea of where your money's going. We started the year out down in Puerto Rico. I spent about 6 months of the year in Rincon, Puerto Rico. And most of the time I'm there, I do what's called a one-on-one. I'll bring a veteran down. They'll stay with me for a week. We'll do some one-on-one training or some kind of advanced training. In fact, a lot of the guys here tonight have been a part of that. It's very unique, something that we do that I've never heard of another organization doing it. It's very personable. I can do a lot more things individually than with the group. I think my record is I did 22 one-on-ones last year, so that's over a third of the year. I've had 24/7. I've had a guy with me. It's a lot of work, but I wouldn't change it. I love working with these guys, and it's a very special thing that we do. In February, this might be a little strange, but in February, OCO TV, which is the Cherokee Nation, they've got a TV program. They came down to Rincon and profiled the Suds program. I know I look like a full-blood Cherokee, but I am Cherokee, and that's the connection, if you're wondering. But it's a great program. This year they got nominated for 6 Emmys. I think last year they won 2 Emmys, so I was very, very honored that they chose the Suds program to come down and profile. In March we had a pretty, if you've ever been to Rincon, it's a little funky, eclectic, kind of hippie surfer town. So Yari, Nicole, and Isela unfortunately are not here tonight, but they put on this event for the last 2 or 3 years called Rincon for Suds. And the theme this past year was black tie and flip-flops. So we had quite a combination of unique outfits. So they raised quite a bit of money for us this past March. And then in May we went down to Kona. Went over to Kona, Hawaii. That's kind of another signature trip for us. We do a bizarre dive there called the Blackwater Dive, which is it's kind of a pucker dive. We go out at night, about 5 miles offshore and 5,000 feet of water, and we jump in and we do a dive there to see what comes up. So we did that, did the Manta Ray dive there, went and saw Volcanoes National Park. Actually got to see the lava spewing up in the air. So that's a really great trip for us. Then later in the month we went to North Carolina. I used to work there, and it's all shipwrecks and sharks, so that's always an exciting dive that we do with the guys. And then in June, we're back in Guantanamo, and that's what put Suds on the map. We've been going there every year. We've got huge support at the naval base at Guantanamo Bay. Just really love going down there. It's a unique place to bring these guys. In July, we did something we've never done before, and normally we couldn't afford, but I got a call earlier this year from the owner of a ship out in Truk Lagoon, which is near the island of Chuuk, south of Guam, and he offered to comp our whole trip. So we brought some guys down there and dove these historic Japanese shipwrecks in World War II. Something we've never done before. I don't know if we'll ever be able to repeat it, but very amazing dive trip there. And for wreck diving, it's the Mecca. It was world-class diving. I'm going to touch a little bit on this, and I'll follow up with what happened on this trip. In September, early September, just a few days ago, I just got back from Utah on a backpacking trip with one of our warriors. At Suds, diving is our primary focus, but we do a few other things. And so we just wrapped that trip on Tuesday, wrapped it up on Tuesday. And then we've got a few events coming up in Florida, if it's still there next month. So keeping our fingers crossed for that. But I want to talk about perseverance. It's what I see in all the warriors that are here today, perseverance. Last week I flew to Grand Junction, Colorado with Sergeant Preston Kaplan. And we drove about 6 hours into the Utah desert to explore a remote canyon in the southern part of the state. It was so remote that we never saw another person on the way in. We never saw a person on the way out. We were a small 3-man team. It was myself, a buddy of mine named Paul, who I used to guide with in the Rocky Mountains and the desert Southwest. And then Preston. You might have met Preston. He was here last year. Yep. He was kind of the life of the party last year. He's a below the knee amputee. He lost his leg in Iraq. And so we took him out for a little adventure. Our itinerary was stout. The terrain was steep. And the landscape was something out of a National Geographic magazine. Just unbelievable scenery. Just to get into the canyon, we had to set up a number of rappels and fix lines to lower ourselves and our heavy packs down to safety. It took us 9 hours just to cover 2 miles. And that was just on the first day. Once we were about 1,000 feet below on the canyon floor, we spent the next few days exploring some of the most beautiful country you can imagine. It was hot and dusty. We drank from muddy, murky potholes. Our camp was raided by a ring-tailed cat one night. At times we'd take 2 steps forward and slide 1 step back because of the loose sand and rock. We were pelted by grit and sand at night while we tried to sleep. And to get out of the canyon, we had to ascend 1,200 feet, almost vertical, sometimes on our hands and knees while we're carrying heavy packs. I'm often amazed at the perseverance of our nation's warriors. and their never quit attitude. They were fighters on the battlefield, and they continue to be fighters off the battlefield. As we completed our journey, it came to me that Preston was most likely the first amputee to ever complete this hard, arduous route. In fact, I bet all my dive gear on it. It was a hell of a trip. I'd like to recognize the warriors that are here today. If you can stand up or raise your hand. Yancey Taylor, United States Army Green Beret. Scuba Steve Mallets, United States Air Force. Chris Cowan and his service dog Loki. Where you at, Chris? My Russian buddy, Igor Makarov, United States Army. Adam McCann, United States Marine Corps. Dan the man, the ladies' man, Dan Costa. Where you at, Dan? There he is. Richie Dominguez, United States Army. This guy's been with the program since the very beginning. Very proud to have Shane Heath here, United States Army, 82nd Airborne. Gonzo, where you at? Gonzalo Duran, United States Marine Corps. Jose, I don't see you. Jose Valdenegro. There you are. Okay. United States Army. Mr. Chosen, Tim Payne, United States Army. And it's hammer time. Mike Collins. Hey, what are you doing over there, Mike? Michael Collins, calling you out. Michael Collins, United States Army. Stand up, Mike. That's the hammer, MC Hammer. Folks, thank you.
Hey, I'll be singing later.
Yeah, we'll have Shane and Mike up here with the band later this evening. I'm very honored and proud to be here for the 7th year. We've got our 10th year anniversary coming up in October. I can't believe it went by in a flash. So thank you for coming out, and let's get this party started.
slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle and my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free, fly to the revolution. Sweet babies don't have enough to eat, sugar children, no shoes on their feet. As a people, yeah, they're living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I'm like an eagle to the sea, like an eagle when my spirit carry me. Like an eagle till I'm free, to the revolution. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Like an eagle to the sea, like an eagle when my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free, to the revolution. Yeah. Mississippi. If we show up, we gon' show out. Smoother than a fresh child skipping. Too high, hot damn. For the police and the fireman. Too high, hot damn. Baby Dragon won't retire, man. Too high, hot damn. Bitch, say my name, know who I am. Too high, hot damn. Get my bed about that money, baby. Girls hit your hallelujah. Girls hit your hallelujah. Girls hit your hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night, we get it right. Don't believe it, just watch.
To the hip hop, listen to the hip hop. You don't stop the rock. To the bang bang bang, sit up to the rhythm and the boogie and the beat. And now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. It's me, the beat, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. I said I am a wonder band, and I like to sing a song. To the black, to the white, the red and the brown, to the purple and the rubber sky. Bang bang, the boogie. Sit up to the beat, to the bang bang, don't stop. But don't stop. Rock the rhythm, make your body rock. Well, so far, you heard my voice. Well, up some friends along. And next up the mic is my girl Connie. Man, come on, sing that song. Good time.
Please come up good times. Keep your place good life. Please come up good times.
You know what the B stands for? Besides bone, it's brick, and it's Borscht. Isn't Tommy's birthday that day? It was Benny's birthday last week. He's 28 years old. Also, he's 28 years old. But this shows you what drugs and alcohol do to you. 10 years worth of mileage on this guy. All right, get out of here. We got Sharkey in the house on the best photography ever. Any of you girls that want to take Sharkey home and do a pictorial for the band? You may.
Jump on it. If you say it on it. If you keep it on it. Don't brag about it. Come show me. Oh, damn. Jump on it. If you say it on it. You say it on it. Thank you.